Hello my loves, and welcome back to your daily dose of astrological insight and inspiration for Tuesday the 18th of June 2024, but this also goes through to Thursday the 20th because I have to do a little bit of extra because I'm going on a little bit of an excursion tomorrow. I'm Intuitive Evolutionary Astrologer Crystal, the Crystalline Priestess. Now let's hop into the energy of the day. Alright my loves, so just to start off, firstly, I am going to say that this is actually going to be probably my last daily horoscope. I might do some Friday and I'll do a full moon horoscope, but I have decided that these videos are not plausible for me because I'm spending way too long making them and doing them and sharing them, and I have to be honest with myself, and this is in exact alignment with the energy that we're in today. As you can see, Venus has just moved into Cancer, 0 degrees, and Mercury is also in Cancer now. He's already taken over Venus and he's at 1 degree. So basically, this is us needing to honor how we're truly feeling about things and honoring what it is that we need to do in order to prioritize ourselves and our self-care. For me, it's not, it's not sustainable for me to spend so much time making a daily horoscope every day when it leaves me without enough time to do client work and to do my emails and blog writing and things like that. And so I've decided that I'm gonna have to face the music and I'm gonna have to only do a weekly horoscope, which will still go through each day of the week, but it's gonna be one video at the beginning or the end of the week. I haven't decided yet, so let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions, or you know, when you think that you would like to receive the weekly horoscope the most, whether that's going to be on a Friday afternoon for the week ahead, so we have Saturday, Sunday, and we go to next Friday, or we start at Monday and we finish at Sunday. So, you know, if you guys have any suggestions, drop them down below. I'm very much open to hearing that. But yeah, basically that's just where I'm at. So, like I was saying, Venus and Mercury are now in Cancer. Happy days. It feels like we can take a little bit of a breath of fresh air out, or really, I should say, it feels like we can breathe out a little bit at the moment. We've been holding our breaths for a month, but essentially we still do have this sun that's getting closer and closer to his exact square with Neptune. So we're not out of the woods yet, and we still, obviously we have Lilith opposing Neptune. It's a little bit of a rough time, like I've been saying for the past week. So today is really a day of prioritizing, creating a mental and a physical sanctuary around you. Your environment is crucial. We've now seen where our environment is really adding or subtracting from our motivation, from our joy, from our radiance. You know, we're able to see now where we're needing to maybe put up boundaries in our environment, and we're needing to maybe take down boundaries in our environment. You know, we're really seeing what works and what hasn't. The past month's really been an eye-opener for us. So now having these energies moving into Cancer, Mercury, Venus, and the Sun that's about to move into Cancer on Friday, we're having finally a switch in the energy. We're finally having a change in the mood, in the vibe. So today we have the moon that is finished, by the time I'm filming this, is finished his opposition with Mars, but we would have experienced that early in the morning for us Aussies. And so you might have even woken up this morning with a little bit of like a frustration, or just a little bit of like this niggling feeling like things are a little bit off. And I feel as though this moon is really showing us and trying to invite us into making sure that the actions that we're taking at the moment come from a place of passion and joy. Not even joy, but true passion and deep reverence for what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're building, what it is that we're creating. You know, I'm using myself as an example, telling you guys about how, well, I don't think these daily horoscopes are actually going to work for me because it's too much work. You know, Taurus Mars is duty. I see Taurus as being duty. And so with the moon opposing Mars in Taurus, it feels to me as though it's like this need to look at where we're just trying to do something out of fulfilling a sense of duty to maybe someone else, to appear, to, you know, put it where it fits. But it's almost like You know, it could even be an internal thing where you're feeling like you have to work at a certain pace out of a sense of duty. And so I feel like with everything moving into Cancer today, it really is a day where it's like, you know what, I'm actually going to start taking a step back and prioritizing my health at the moment. And we've talked a lot about mental health over the past few weeks, but this is really about being in your physical environment and being in a really healthy place within that environment and allowing yourself space and time to rest when you need it, because the moon opposing Mars also today could feel like there's so much that we have to get done. And with this square to Neptune and with Mercury and Venus having just moved into Cancer, it's really important that we're putting our emotions not last, you know, and putting our emotions first, that we're actually prioritizing our self-care and, you know, not letting our emotions stop us from taking important action that we need to take, but listening to those emotional cues, you know, that are telling us whether something's off or whether something's on. I really feel as though with this moon opposing Mars, we're really seeing where our output and our effort needs tweaking. Our actions need a little bit of a change. Our actions are sort of needing us to maybe be focusing a little bit more on the deeper stuff and how it's going to look in the long run, rather than just trying to make everything happen today. It's really about, you know, like I've said it, I'm just going to keep saying it with the Mars and Taurus. It's one step, one foot in front of the other, but it's not being, you know, entirely overwhelmed by the big picture at the end of the day anyway. And with this moon in Scorpio, we could be feeling really emotionally overwhelmed by how much work has to go into something that we are doing. So be patient with yourself it's important. And look, the dog's going off again in the background for my video, and it's literally to the point where it's driving me crazy. And so like that energy is very much moon opposing Mars today, where it's like, and it's Scorpio too. The moon is in fall. It's not happy in Scorpio. Mars also hates being in Taurus. So this is a very big opposition today. So there's definitely frustrating vibes coming up again. And, you know, like I keep saying, it's like this noise, this external noise that we can't really shut off. So it is about needing to create balance and sanctuary for ourselves by putting in the work and doing the action, doing the effort, but also giving ourselves moments to take our foot off the throttle if we need to, because this is an energy with Mars where it's like, if we're feeling like really worked up and angry about something, like we could put our foot on the pedal too hard and just, you know, end up crashing our car. So something that I do and that my dad did, and I see where I get it from, is like whenever he got really frustrated, he would take off like a madman driving in his car. And I kind of actually do the same thing a little bit. And I can't do it anymore because I used to live, like my home, we have like a almost 2 kilometer driveway. So I was able to do that, but I can't do that now just on the streets here. So this is us needing to be clear about where we can and how we can express ourselves in a healthy way, because not every way is going to be the right way. You know, just don't be getting too worked up and getting too angry and going for a drive and like just being like, wah, you know, this is an energy today where that just won't end well for you. We're needing to make more space for our personal lives. The pressure release valve. It's feeling like there's a little bit of like a pressure release today, but it's not enough to get us out of the woods. We still have the sun building into that Neptune square that we've been talking about that's going to be really intense by Thursday. This is us needing to integrate the energy, all that mental energy of the last month. And literally, like, I can feel it with this dog. Like, it's literally like feeling so loud, all this noise, all of these thoughts. It's like literally almost like I'm picturing it as like that dog as being like in our brains, like having a dog in our brains that just doesn't shut the fuck up barking. And like, it literally drives you crazy. So this is today, once again, and it's all week, it's a week where we need to be careful of our mental health, because we could just flip a switch at any moment. This is restoring ourselves back into clarity through self-care, family connections, you know, being with our partners and, you know, cuddling up on the lounge and having deep conversations and, you know, just taking care of our needs, prioritizing our needs, really. Because I think with all that Gemini, it was hard to really prioritize our needs because our minds were going so chaotic and so hectic everywhere. So we're finally being able to like actually take that, take what we've learned and to put it into action now and go, okay, my boundaries are up. I've set myself up for how I'm now wanting to move forward. I need to be taking care of myself first and foremost. heart and intuition first. Following your heart. Your heart is the core of your intuition. You know, your heart is the leader. That's why it's ruled by the sun. That's why it's Leo. You know, your heart is really calling to lead the way. And so with these squares to Neptune, it's about really honoring your own bullshit radar, paying attention to your own bullshit radar, and not getting consumed by other people's, like I've said it many times, this is projections. With Neptune being here, this is massive projections everywhere. So filter through your own bullshit radar at the moment. What sits well with you and what just really isn't. And now the dogs shut up. So it's about listening to our own inner self, listening to our own voice instead of listening to all the noise outside of us and hearing all this. It's literally just like that, like literally like a dog just barking, like it's pointless, annoying sounds. So with the Lovers and the Two of Cups coming out for Tuesday, today, it is definitely, it's the day to be doing what we love. It's the day to be connecting. Like this is the energy of Venus now being at 0 degrees of Cancer. This is us falling back in love and with our friends and our family and our partners and ourselves, and being able to really honor that within ourselves and being able to really be in a good energy and being in a good vibe and just taking care of what we need, taking care of our needs. Like, you know, that's the biggest thing. And with it being the Two of Cups, it's about compromising. And it's about finding an equal balance of give and take, reciprocity. We have victory coming out. I shall celebrate and I shall rise. I will now let victory make me wise. So it's victory today to actually be having a massive realization about whether something is or isn't working for you, about how it can work for you better, about maybe how you need to be prioritizing your health more. It's a victory to come to that realization. And we have success. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor and integrity. So you are really in a successful vibe. Don't let your own mind continue. Look, now they're going again. Don't let your own mind continue to tell you with these squares to Neptune. Don't let your mind tell you that you're not doing enough, that you're not making enough, working enough, that you're not good enough. You know, with Neptune's not an energy that we can see. This is like, that's why these squares are so uncomfortable, because Neptune is an outer planet. We cannot see him with the naked eye. We do not know he's there. So when we're having major aspects to Neptune, we're not aware. You know, on the surface, it's not like it's physical things that are really showing us exactly what's going on. It's an ethereal thing. It's an understanding. It's a slow, quiet rumbling. It's an internal battle. And it's the external will bring things up because, you know, it's squares with personal planets. So we are having personal situations that are bringing up this 29-degree Pisces holy fuck moments and these fears and these anxieties. And so with this success coming out, I feel like we're successfully, and with victory and success, like wow, and letting go underneath that, we're successfully letting go today. We're successfully letting the shit go. We're successfully allowing ourselves to be in the Lovers and the Two of Cups energy. This is all about love and commitment and relationships, and we're allowing ourselves to finally be happy. I feel like it's really like a beautiful energy of allowing ourselves to be in this Cancer love vibe. We're literally on the edge of Cancer. We're just about to hit Cancer. So I feel like that's going to be a beautiful vibe and a beautiful energy for all of us to finally get into this self-nourishing energy after being in so much mental activity. Now let's have a look at Wednesday. So my loves, Wednesday, we are getting closer and closer to the exact T-square between Lilith, Neptune, and the Sun. And it's mean Lilith, it's not true Lilith. So I know that there are, I think true Lilith is at about 22 degrees of Virgo. So this is mean Lilith that we have at 28 degrees of Virgo. So, you know, take that as you will. It's kind of like, I see it as both energies being important, and you know, it feels like this is a good indicator of just how much the collective has these really, really intense wounds. And you know, the thing is, we've never seen so much talk about anxiety. You know, it's like at this point, children, everybody knows about anxiety. Everybody has dealt with anxiety. Everybody's talking about anxiety. We've got, you know, even that Inside Out movie that just came out now has the emotion anxiety. So this is us. The collective is fucking drowning in anxiety, anxiousness. All of us, because there is so much intensity going on. So, you know, like I keep saying, it's just the awareness of that is enough to try and, you know, at least bring you into a space of knowing that you are not alone, that you're not crazy, and that this is okay to be feeling the way you're feeling, because we're all feeling it. So to me, Wednesday feels like a day where it's really about seeing factually what is working and what isn't, and what changes need to be made. The moon first trines with Saturn, and then it opposes Uranus, and then it trines with Neptune. So Wednesday feels like a big day of like weird energy, anxiety coming up, fear coming up, but also dreaminess, you know, and this sort of spontaneous shift into, I think, seeing a higher potential for the reality that we're actually able to create. This is a very spiritual day. Wednesday is definitely a day to be in your spiritual essence, to be in your spiritual energy, and to not, I think that's going to help us to not get overwhelmed by some of the things that we're going to be experiencing just as a collective. Like I said in the daily horoscope yesterday, there's just so much going on in the news, there's so much going on everywhere, that all of us are just like, whoa, we're all feeling it. This is dream realizations, realizing what we need to be doing, what the work that needs to be going into how we're going to achieve a certain goal or a certain lifestyle or a certain anything, you know. This is about us really focusing and bringing it into something that feels like it's, you know, a passionate possibility that can actually happen with the moon opposing Uranus. It has to be something that can be physical, something that can be made real, and something that feels like it's, you know, it's feeling like we're sort of all starting to connect with these really deep soul desires at the moment, with Neptune being all the way out here. And it's a tough energy today because the moon's doing so much and hitting so intensely these big, powerful, like outer planets. And so it is a very big day for the collective. And so, like I keep saying, just with Mercury and Venus now being in Cancer, and with the Sun getting closer and closer to Cancer, it is a time of just respecting your own emotions, respecting how you feel, because how you feel today on Wednesday is really going to be a catalyst for how you, how much anxiety you face, how much fear you face. It's really about kind of overcoming, maybe even overcoming the comfort zone, not getting lost in that comfort zone, not getting too overwhelmed by doing something a little different. This does feel like a day where there's going to be changes that happen. And so just, you know, it's kind of like going along with the ride. I'm seeing it like a roller coaster, and just, it's basically like you just need to be strapped in and it's going to be okay. It feels like this is a day where we're really needing to let creativity become our beacon of light again. And instead of blindly following people, influencers, brands, algorithms, all that sort of stuff, this is us needing to get back to the root. You know, opposition with Uranus, this is us needing to ground into reality again and go, look, oh my God, I'm sick of watching and comparing myself to everybody else. Because that's what this Neptune Sun little T-square is. It's like I'm comparing myself to every other motherfucking person out there. And you know, social media has made it to a point where that is just normal. It's normal to constantly be scrolling in your day and comparing yourself to 20 million people that you don't know. That was not something that used to happen. That was not a normal thing. So we're seeing where things are fucking really not normal. And since Neptune moved into Pisces in 2011, we have watched this spiritual influencer and just this influencer culture and social media grow to the point where we're now seeing, with these massive T-square, we're now seeing the detrimental effect that that's had not only on just adults and our psyches and our, you know, self-worth and all that stuff, but children. It's really, really affected children. And that's this square with the Sun in Gemini. You know, Gemini is children. So we're seeing where we've really kind of fucked up as a collective and as a society, and we've gone too far down the rabbit hole with screens, and we've gone too far down the rabbit hole with all that sort of stuff. And so I feel as though this is us needing to wake up on Wednesday and to say, okay, I'm done. like I said with the daily horoscope for Monday, you know, social media detox this week is really positive. This is not really a week to be constantly scrolling, because the constant scrolling is going to just drive you mental, and it's going to keep you feeling so stuck and so in comparisonitis, basically. We're needing to now connect with people locally, with people in our physical environments, people around us. And that's the thing that's going to be coming up as well with all this talk of war and all this crazy shit. We're going to be going back to physical stuff, you know, physical survival. And that's what Uranus and Taurus is. Physical survival. And we haven't seen Uranus at 25 degrees of Taurus since the 1940s. So, you know, we're having very similar experiences coming up. We're waking up to the fact that the world has changed and we've changed with it. And now we're needing to create a new way of moving forward with Pluto and Aquarius, because he's moving back to Capricorn. So there's still shifts and changes, and there's still major shit that we're going to be seeing that needs to sort of be cleared out over this time. We're going to be seeing it come to the surface and rise. So it's definitely a day on Wednesday to be preparing yourself for where it is that you know you need to make drastic change. This is the end of an online era, you know, and with all this stuff in Gemini, it's not like we're going to be ditching computers like in technology. No way. That's actually about to really, really pop the fuck off. Shit's going to get even more intense. And that's why we are going through this change, because now we're in the age of AI, and we're in the age of AI influencers, and we're in the age of, you know, AI art and all that sort of stuff. And so humans are really struggling with what to do now, because we've almost created something that feels as though we're rendering our own selves futile, useless. And not that we're useless, but that's almost like the collective feeling that we're sort of starting to have. We're starting to question whether our skills are even worthwhile having anymore. Are they going to all be useless in the end? Because the world that we're moving into is a technological one. And it's really hard, a really difficult pill to swallow. And we've become so engrossed in our phones since 2011 that it's, you know, it's almost like a part of us now. Like these devices are kind of a part of us. And so now with AI coming in, it's only going to be getting more intense. So we're needing to really connect in with our physical communities again in order to be able to ground into something. To ground into something that isn't so ethereal and so up in the air. You know, this is about reality, bringing reality into reality again. This is us today becoming passionate about a different future that's possible. Now let's have a quick look at Thursday. And Thursday, boom, that's when we have our exact Sun Neptune square just before the Sun moves into Cancer. So very, very strong day. It's the potential for a difficult day. I mean, it's beautiful that the Sun is moving into Cancer, but before he moves into Cancer, he has to have that really crazy opposition T-square with Neptune and with Lilith. And you can see how the big red line has really, really sort of amplified in this last picture. So you guys can see where we're really feeling it. And with that moon moving into Sag early in the morning on Thursday, it's going to be moving straight into a trine with Pluto, which is nice. But then it's going to be moving into an opposition with Jupiter. So it's definitely a day of having things brought up, things coming to the surface, uncomfortable situations, but situations that are to help us evolve, situations that help us to grow. This is definitely a day that's going to be forcing us to grow, forcing us to evolve, forcing us to change. It feels like the pressure is definitely back on. It feels like things are a little bit dire, honestly, today. It feels like this is the epitome of the pressure that has been building with all of these major squares to Saturn and with Neptune. Today is the day of the ultimate pressure, the ultimate pushing point of that. So it's definitely a day to try and not lose your cool. It's definitely not a time to be losing your cool. A time to be chilling. Emotionally, if you can, you know, even though things aren't going to be that emotionally chilled, it's definitely a time to not get stuck in the weeds, especially with the moon being in Sag and opposing Jupiter, his ruler. So, you know, it's like, well, let's not go down too deep into a rabbit hole where we might believe that something is worse than it is, because Jupiter brings everything into feeling and looking bigger than it actually could be. So this is just not getting lost into what could be potentially happening, and trying to focus on what's really actually happening right in front of you, because with this massive square, it's going to feel like we're not sure what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. It's the fog has well and truly come over our eyes on Thursday. It's definitely a day that is calling for our emotional and our spiritual and our physical evolution. We're needing to come up with well thought out solutions, and to not also feel as though we need to figure it all out at once, but to start maybe brainstorming through different ways of moving about this problem, different ways of solving issues, different ways of handling issues, different ways of handling loss, and all these sorts of things. This is us not being so anxious in the face of, I'm hearing the word calamity. What does calamity even mean? An event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, a disaster. Okay, well, if a disaster pops up, try and do your best to breathe through it. Try and do your best to stay, I don't want to say like staying busy to a point of like emotional and spiritual bypass, but staying busy in a way that's going to help you express these emotions. So, you know, if it's you're needing to talk with someone, this is a day to maybe speak with your therapist, or speak with someone, or speak to a friend or a family member if things are feeling really intense. But this is a potential for calamity this day. It is a potential for a huge breakdown, breakthrough. Not saying that that's going to happen to you. It all depends on your own chart and how these energies are interacting with you in your own chart. But it's just maybe even collectively, we're going to be seeing a major breakdown or a major worldwide event happen on Thursday. So just keep in mind that this is the energy. And if you're feeling really overwhelmed, then that's okay. We all are. If you can try and, you know, journal, especially with the moon opposing Jupiter in Gemini, it's journaling, writing things out, trying to get these thoughts onto paper so you can clear through them. This is chronic anxiety that could arise today, obsession, fear, just really uncomfortable, dark, sort of deep feelings that with the moon being in Sag and with Gemini, it's like we're kind of trying to stay optimistic and stay hopeful. We're trying to kind of act like we're all good, but the reality is that underneath the surface there's a really strong anxious pull. There's a really strong fear. There's a really strong feeling of uncertainty, and just I'm hearing distaste for disaster. So that's weird, but I don't know. We'll roll with it. It's definitely a day for self-care, taking care of ourselves, needing to put the energy on us, you know, and by me saying that, I mean like putting ourselves in a place of being able to be in the best place that we can. So if this is a day to have a nice, beautiful self-care bath with your bath salts, go for it. You know, this is the day to maybe, even with the moon being in Sag, get out with some friends and try to go on a hike or go on an adventure or do something a little bit creative, but not too much. You know, today's a day of not doing too much, because this T-square to me feels dangerous. We have the Queen of Swords coming out, and it came out in the reverse. So this is not a day where we're going to be feeling overly clear. This is a day where we're finding discernment, when we're trying just to find a little bit of a glimmer of hope and clarity in the midst of just total weird uncertainty. We have the Magician. So we are definitely in an energy on Thursday of needing to create through the chaos, seeing that we have all the tools in our tool chest in front of us, and that we have the potential, we can do things. With the Wheel of Fortune coming out, this is a day that's going to be really changing things up for us. We're going to be changing our ideas, our thoughts, our mental scape. This is our pretty much the day where it's like everything over the past month is going to really like focus into one area, and it's almost like your mind is going to break and your mind's going to go, okay, this is it. This is the new way of going. We're done. We're done with this. This Magician, Queen of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune is that we're ready for the change. The change is here. The change is here. We're ready to manifest something that feels like it's way more aligned. Something that feels like it's, with this Queen of Swords, it's actually, you know, it's intelligent. It feels like this is us making intelligent decisions and us making informed, intelligent choices about why, what we need to do differently, but why we need to be approaching our goals and be approaching life, you know, and our lifestyles and our personal lives in a different way. Approaching things in a way that feels, with this Judgment card coming out, more in line with spirit, more in line with our actual intentions, more in line with where it is that we're truly going. This is a massive spiritual opportunity on Thursday. Even though it's you know, it's difficult because there's so much pressure, it's also a day of opportunity. This is us dying to old and outdated systems of belief and thought. And, you know, the moon is actually going to be, it's not in a grand cross, because the moon's not at the final degrees of Sag, but the fact that we have the moon in Sagittarius, we have everything in mutable on this day. So this is a huge day of massive change. Letting go. Allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. So this is us definitely on Thursday being in energy of having to let something go, having to sort of lay something to rest. It feels sad. There is definitely a sadness there, but it's a knowing that it had to happen at the same time. There's almost like a peace in the knowing that it was gonna happen and it was meant to happen, but there's almost a sadness as well with having to let things go. With imagination coming out, this is definitely a day to be, you know, using your imagination for good, not going in the wrong direction, not going down the rabbit hole of imagination where we're imagining every possible bad thing that could happen, but this is imagining ourselves in a new way, imagining freedom and growth. We have authenticity coming out. So it's imagining being authentic with yourself is so important. And like with all this energy about to move into Cancer, I mean, well, with the sun about to move into Cancer, we already have Venus and Mercury there. But with the sun about to move into Cancer, it is about to be about our prioritizing of our needs and being authentic and true to ourselves. It says, who I truly am is good indeed. I am authentic in thought, word, and deed. So, you know, this is us. If you're able to really get through this crazy energy this week, you're going to see where you really are super authentic and where you're now in an energy where you're ready to let go of what was holding you back, and you're ready to let go, especially mentally. You're ready to let go of the thoughts, the beliefs, the ideas, all those sorts of things that were telling you that you're not worthy enough, that you're not good enough, that you're never going to make it, that you're never going to get anywhere, all that sort of stuff. Because with all this mutable, it's like this is us changing our minds every 5 minutes, changing our minds every 5 minutes. And so it's almost like with this massive T-square, it's like, nah, we're needing to see where we can't constantly be changing everything. You know, it's okay to switch up little things, but like the general trajectory has to be, you know, it has to be with the Sag. It has to be an arrow pointing in one direction. And the thing with Sag is that with this Moon-Jupiter opposition, at the moment, the collective doesn't know the direction that we're moving in. No one knows, because is it war? Is it AI? Is it like, what's happening? We're all like, what's happening? So, you know, it's a time for all of us with this judgment to come out, to be listening to our own judgment first and foremost, and to be judging for ourselves what feels right, what feels like the right action to take, and not going down fearful rabbit holes and making decisions out of fear. I also want to say, do be careful if you live by the ocean or if you live by water, if you're going swimming, anything like that. This is a day to be careful, because it really gives me the energy of someone drowning. So, I don't know, just a metaphor is that the collective feels as though they're drowning, for sure. This is the collective is literally like, oh my God, we're drowning under the confusion. And it's like we don't even realize that we're drowning. Well, you know, when you get to the point where someone is drowning and then they sort of black out, and they're not passed away or anything, but they're blacked out. This is us like not breathing for so long that we're starting to black out, the collective. So just try and breathe, especially because Gemini, I've said it a million times, rules the lungs. So try and breathe. And like I said, it's the hands as well. So making things, doing things, cleaning, what you can be doing with your hands to sort of not distract yourself, but to keep yourself in a busy state so that you can process these thoughts and these feelings and some of the energies that are coming up for you. So my loves, is there anything else? Let's get one last card for this crazy Thursday, and then that's it. Four of Swords. So yeah, it's definitely a day to not be trying to do too much. And we have the 6 of coins. So the best thing you can be doing on Thursday is trying to remain in a balanced energy. So doing some work, but also knowing when it's time to chill, not pushing yourself so hard, not feeling like everything has to be achieved in a day, because with this 4 of Swords, it's a day for resting. And with this 6 of coins, there's actually a lot more balance and a feeling of abundance that's going to come through to you if you actually allow yourself to rest and nurture your own mental state as well as your physical body. This is very much you know, Cancer energy. So we're about to have the sun in Cancer and we're about to be able to finally take a fucking breath out. But at the moment, we're still drowning. So keep trying to tread water throughout all this, my loves. All right, I'm going to leave this reading here. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was so long, but at least today we have 3 different days that we're talking about, not just one. So let me know in the comments any suggestions, any thoughts, any feedback, any of that you have for me. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up because it really helps to share these astrology readings to more beautiful astro freaks like us. Make sure you check out the channeled songs for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'd like to thank your guides, my guides, all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you and I in all moments for allowing me to receive and to deliver this message to you. If you would like to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can do that down below through the links to my website. Thank you so much for being here, my loves. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.